The alien fleet came without warning. Thousands of ships appeared near Earth's orbit. Dark, silent, cold, were the size of cities. Others looked like giant steel insects. Every ship had only one goal: destroy Earth. No warning, no mercy. Just pure war. In the United Nations war room, deep below the surface of Geneva, the world's leaders stood in silence.
The air was heavy.
Red lights blinked. A giant screen showed the alien ships getting closer. "They're here, General," Reese said, his voice low but calm. President Kayla Monroe stared at the screen. "How long before they reach us?" 5 minutes, the AI answered. All diplomatic channels ignored. They're armed and ready to fire. The room stayed quiet. Everyone knew what this meant. It wasn't just an invasion. It was an execution. Earth had made too many enemies. In just 30 years, humans had advanced faster than any species in the galaxy. They had learned faster, built faster, fought smarter. Some alien races respected them, others feared them, but most wanted them gone. Now, 4 alien empires had united. The Carid, the Valari Swarm, the Zorthan clans, and the cold, emotionless Vekari. They all hated each other. But they hated humans more. The first missile left the alien fleet. It was bright. It's like a falling star. But this star would not make a wish come true. It would burn cities, kill millions. But just before it entered Earth's atmosphere, it vanished. The screen blinked. "Missile destroyed," the AI said. "By what?" President Monroe asked. "By us," said a new voice. Everyone turned. A tall man stepped forward from the shadows. He wore a black uniform, no ranks, no flag, just a silver patch on his shoulder, X7. "Who are you?" the president asked. "Commander Doran Creed, head of Project Revenant." "Revenant?" the Prime Minister of India asked. "That program was shut down 5 years ago." "No," Creed said. "It went dark, because we knew this day would come." He walked to the center of the room and waved his hand. A new screen opened. It showed a massive fleet hidden behind the moon. Human ships, sleek, deadly, silent. "You think we've been sleeping?" Creed asked. "No, we've been preparing." World leaders stared in shock. Earth wasn't defenseless. Earth had its own secret army. "Authorization codes?" the president asked. Creed smiled. "Already approved. Full activation, all units engaged." Above the planet, space lit up. Dozens of Earth's ships came out of hiding. They were smaller than the alien ships, but faster, smarter. They moved like they were alive. AI-controlled, pilot-supported. The human fleet didn't wait. It attacked first. The alien empires were shocked. It expected humans to run, to beg, maybe hide. Instead, humans attacked with perfect precision. The first alien destroyer exploded in silence. No fire, no warning. Just gone. Then another, and another. On board the Carid flagship, Admiral Southwark roared in anger. "How are they doing this? Their ships are half our size." His crew scrambled for answers, but none came. On Earth, the war room watched the battle in silence. No cheers, no fear. Just cold, sharp focus. These tactics, the Vekari ambassador whispered on a private channel to his allies. "They are impossible. No race thinks like this." That was the secret. Humans didn't just fight with weapons. They fought with imagination. The Exospire. Earth's lead battleship moved like a ghost. It dodged beams, danced through missiles, and planted virus drones on enemy ships. Within seconds, enemy systems shut down. Ships floated dead in space. Then the rail lance activated. One shot, one beam of pure plasma could slice through 3 enemy. Cruisers like paper. 17 minutes, that's how long it took. 17 minutes after the first missile was fired. The battle was over. The alien fleet was gone. Some destroyed, some escaped. None victorious. On Earth. Silence filled the war room. No. One spoke. Then Creed said, "It's done." President Monroe stared at the screen. We won. We didn't win, Creed said. We ended it. But the war's end wasn't the end of the story. The next day, the Galactic Council met in secret. Dozens of species, some ancient, some new. They all shared the same fear. One hologram played over and over again. Earth's ships moving like hunters, destroying in seconds. No mercy, no pause. The Carrot Ambassador slammed his fist on the table. They are too dangerous. Alari, Queen hissed. They don't kill for joy. They kill because they can. They do it fast. The Zorthon warlord agreed. We threw everything at them, and they didn't even lose a single capital ship. The room fell quiet. Then the oldest voice in the council spoke. The Grand Speaker of the Volan. Perhaps we are looking at this the wrong way, he said. Perhaps the danger is not what they destroy, but what they become if we let them fight again. What do you suggest? Another asked. A ban, the speaker said. We ban them from war. All war forever. Gasps. Silence. Impossible. Someone said, necessary, the speaker replied. The vote passed. Humanity was banned. Not because they broke rules. Not because they caused the chaos. But because they won. Too fast. Back on Earth, the message arrived like a hammer. President Monroe read the decision out loud. No human may serve in any galactic military. No human ship may join any battle. No human general may lead a force across the stars. People protested. Soldiers wept. Veterans were honored like ghosts from a forgotten war. Commander, Creed stood in front of the last human army and saluted. This is not the end, he said. This is the start of something worse than war. A young soldier asked, what could be worse? Creed looked up at the sky, being told, you're too dangerous to be free. Far above them, the stars watched silently, and somewhere deep in the galaxy, others began to fear. Because the last war Earth fought was only the beginning of a new kind of battle, a war not of weapons, but of fear. The room was filled with alien voices, loud, angry, afraid. In the center of the Galactic Council, giant silver lights hung above a round chamber, where leaders of more than 60 alien species had gathered.
Oh.
The walls were made of black crystal. Each seat floated slightly off the ground. No weapons were allowed inside. And still, many had brought their own kind of fear at the center. The hologram played again. Human warships, moving like sharks, enemy fleets falling in minutes. 17 minutes to win the biggest space battle in known history. They watched it. For the 10th time, some looked away. Others watched every second. None spoke. Finally, the speaker of the Vakari Empire stood. His voice was calm, smooth, and cold. We believed humans were energetic, but they are more. Their engineered victory. They don't win, they end. The Velari Queen blinked slowly. Their ships are half our size, half our power. And yet none of ours survived. Their minds hissed the Carrot. High Lord, don't think like ours. They turn impossible into tactics. They use madness like a weapon. A young ambassador from the Solari Confederacy whispered, we asked them to join the galaxy, not rewrite it. The Grand Speaker of the Volan raised his hand. Everyone fell silent. This is not punishment, the old being said. Is protection, not for them, for us. A slow blue light covered the council floor. The vote began. One by one, the lights turned red for no and green for yes. One by one. The green lights filled the room. 57 votes in favor, 5 against, 3 abstained. Decision passed. The treaty was born. The Treaty of Galactic War Conduct, Article X9b, effective immediately. Humanity is hereby restricted from taking part in all sanctioned military operations across Galactic Council space. No human may serve, lead, or support any fleet, ground force, or planetary defense outside of Earth. Any breach of this order will be seen as an act of war. On Earth, the message came like a thunderstorm. In every major city, massive screens lit up with the Council's declaration. Soldiers stood still in silence. Old veterans clenched their fists. Commanders stared at the words, not believing what they were seeing. People gathered in streets. Some screamed, some cried, some asked, "How can this be peace?" President Monroe stood before a global audience, her face pale but strong. "They say we are too good at war," she said. "They fear us not because we are cruel, but because we're capable. They say we win too fast, and for that, they call us dangerous. On military bases, soldiers laid down their weapons. On training stations, instructors closed their books. On the moon, Earth's newest battlecruiser was shut down before its first flight. One child, watching the speech, turned to his mother. "Why? Are they banning us?" She answered quietly, "Because they think we can't lose." But not all agreed. On Mars, a private meeting took place between Earth's top generals, those who had fought in the Battle of the Eclipse. General Reese slammed his hand on the steel table. "They are afraid. That's all this is. We're scared. Them. We followed every law," General Lena Torres said. "We never used illegal weapons, never attacked civilians. Our only crime was winning too fast. That's exactly why they're terrified." The room went quiet. Then Commander Creed entered. Everyone stood. Creed walked slowly to the center of the room, tablet in his hand. "They just banned 12 million trained soldiers," he said, "and they grounded our best ships. They erased our war record from the Galactic Archive." Placed the tablet on the table. It showed something worse. Every human defense AI had been flagged by the Council. Any future use of Earth's war tech outside the solar system would be tracked and punished. "They're not just banning us from war," Creed said. "They're isolating us." The generals looked at each other. Some were angry, some were afraid, some were planning. Weeks passed. Protests broke out across human colonies. On Europa, veterans gathered in silence, wearing their medals on their chests. On Titan, an old warship was painted with giant white letters. "Let us fight for our people." But Earth stayed quiet. The government followed the treaty. It had no choice until one day, a signal came from the edge of human space. It was weak, distorted. ... This is New Series Colony. We are under attack. Multiple unknown vessels. Shields failing. Then static. Nothing more. The Council said nothing. No rescue ships came because, under the treaty, humans were not allowed to fight. In a secret hangar beneath the icy plains of Antarctica, Commander Creed stood alone. He played the message again. He stared at the signal's last seconds, saw the fear in the colonists' voice. They were unarmed, they were abandoned, and no one was coming. Creed touched his earpiece. "Activate Project Revenant. Authorization, Black Echo." The AI answered. "Are you aware this order violates Council law?" "I'm aware," he said. Lights turned on behind him, metal doors opened, and 10 old warships, dark and silent, came to life for the first time in years. Creed whispered to himself, "You can ban humans from war." He stepped forward. Double quotes, ... but you can't stop us from protecting our own. Far across the galaxy, in a shadowy council chamber, the Vicari speaker stared at a screen. One of his agents spoke. "Sir, we detected movement from Earth's hidden fleet, small group, unauthorized, heading toward the ban zone." The speaker didn't answer at first. Then he said one word. The sky over New Series turned black at noon. It wasn't a storm, it was ships. Dozens of alien warships covered the sun like shadows from hell. The peaceful human colony had no military, no fleet, no weapons, just farms, science stations, and families. Governor Miratan stood on the balcony of her office, watching the dark sky. Her hands trembled. Below her, the people were panicking. Sirens blared. Children cried. There was nowhere to run. "Emergency channel open," she told her AI assistant. The system clicked. Her voice went out across the colony. "This is Governor Tan. We are under attack by unknown alien forces. We are unarmed. We are a peaceful colony under Galactic Council law. We request immediate assistance." The reply came quickly. A deep, snarling voice. "No law protects prey." The signal ended, and the first blast hit. A massive fireball tore through the South Farming Dome. Glass shattered. Smoke rose. People screamed. The aliens weren't here for war. They were here to conquer. Far away, on a cold moon orbiting Saturn, Commander Doran Creed stood in front of a holomap. His team watched silently as the red blinking signal from new series faded out. They've lost contact, his AI confirmed. No evacuators destroyed. No evacuation ships have launched. Creed turned to his crew, 30 retired war veterans, each one marked by scars and medals. Men and women who had once led fleets, now they were banned from command, labeled too effective. The Council's still refusing action? Creed asked. Affirmative, the AI said. Council response: no authorization to engage. Humans are not permitted to enter armed conflict zones? Creed smiled grimly. They don't care if our people die, as long as it doesn't start another war. Turned to the others. We're not starting a war, pointed at the map. But we're finishing this. The ship was called Shadow of Dawn. Once, it had been Earth's top infiltration cruiser, silent, fast, and deadly. Now, it had one mission: save new series. It flew through deep space in blackout mode. No signals, no engines. Just gliding like a ghost behind it. 5 smaller ships followed each, filled with hand-picked ex-soldiers. No ranks, no uniforms. Just loyalty. As they approached the edge of Council-controlled space, a warning beacon lit up on the screen. Human military presence detected. This is a violation. Turn back. Creed ignored it. The ship moved on. New series was dying. Governor Tan had locked herself in the command center with 10 others. The city was falling piece by piece. She had no way to call for help. No way to save her people. Then something happened. A sound low and strange cut through the static. A new signal. Human code. Hold the line, it said. Help is coming. She didn't believe it at first. Then she looked up and saw a bright white streak slash through the sky. It moved faster than anything she had ever seen. Then another and another. The alien warships turned their weapons toward the new ships. But it was already too late, Commander. Creed's ship came in hot. The Shadow of Dawn dropped its stealth mode and dove straight into the middle of the alien formation. It didn't fire at first. It didn't need to. It hacked them. Microdrones slipped into their systems, like viruses in blood. One alien ship turned on another, confused, blind. Then the real attack began. Creed's team moved with perfect timing. Explosives. On weak spots, EMP blasts to shut down shields, rail cannons to pierce armor. The aliens had numbers. The humans had tactics in 9 minutes. The sky was clear. Not a single alien ship remained. The colony was safe. For now, Governor Tan met Creed on the landing pad. Her eyes were full of disbelief and hope. You came, she said. Creed nodded. We never left. Council said they couldn't help us. Creed looked up at the sky, still glowing with smoke. They didn't want to. But we don't need permission to protect our people. News of the rescue spread fast. Videos showed human ships moving like light, cutting through enemy fleets without losing a man. Survivors told stories of Commander Creed's team, how they appeared out of nowhere and saved thousands. On Earth, people cheered. Across human colonies, old soldiers started to rise again. But in the halls of the Galactic Council, the reaction was very different in a dark chamber deep in Council space. The Vakari speaker slammed his hands on the table. They broke the treaty. They saved civilians, argued the Solari ambassador. They used warships. The Carad snarled. They fought without permission. This was an act of war. But it was a response to aggression, the Valari queen said quietly. From a rogue force, not a council fleet. The room turned quiet. Then the Grand Speaker spoke. Either we punish them now, looked at the footage of the human fleet's victory, ... or we admit the truth. And what is that? Asked the Vakari. That humans are protectors. The room erupted in debate, but none of them noticed the small, blinking light on the side of the screen. A new signal from deep space, an alien warlord watching the human victory. His eyes were glowing. His voice was sharp. So, the humans still fight. The old station floated in the dark. It was called Arabesnina, Forgotten military outpost hidden inside a dead asteroid field. No one lived there. No one visited. Even the Galactic Council had erased it from maps. But tonight, its lights came. Back on red. Silent. Waiting inside. Steel doors opened. Old machines came to life. Air hissed through dusty vents. A long hallway lit up as footsteps echoed through it. Commander Doran Creed walked slowly, helmet under his arm. Behind him were 10 soldiers, men and women once known as the best in Earth's military. Now they were ghosts, veterans, forgotten, banned. But they weren't finished. They had only just begun, 5 days earlier after saving New Ceres. Creed's team returned to the edge of human space. The Council had labeled them rogue. Every communication signal was watched. Earth couldn't protect them. No one could. But Creed had a plan. He sent a coded message, a deep layer signal. Bouncing off ancient satellites and dead relay buoys, it read, "Code Ironfall. All revenants, assemble." The message spread like a ghost wind, across moons, asteroid belts, and spaceports. They heard it. Old captains working cargo jobs stopped mid-shift. Pilots, who hadn't flown in 10 years, powered up buried fighters, ex-Marines. Sitting in broken homes, felt the fire return in their chest. Each one remembered the truth. They were never afraid to fight, only told not to. Back at Erebus 9. Commander Creed watched ships arrive one by one. Silent, unmarked, human-made. Veterans climbed out, some in worn armor, some with cybernetic limbs, some with no rank left, but all ready to serve again. Captain Raina Voss, once called the Ghost of Saturn, stepped forward. "I thought we were done," she said, "but here we are." Creed nodded, "'cause no one else is coming." Then came Sergeant Holt. Big, quiet, carried an old plasma cannon on his back like it weighed nothing. "Nice to be back," said with a grin. Soon, for 200 soldiers stood on the hangar deck. The exiled army had returned. Inside the station, they rebuilt quickly. Old weapon caches were opened, outdated AI cores were wiped, updated and installed into ships. They modified everything, turned cargo haulers into stealth bombers, transport ships into dropships with energy cannons. No rules, no budget, only survival. They trained hard, simulated battles, combat drills, holographic waymasts they'd never need again. Commander Creed stood before them as they completed their first full formation in a decade. Full formation in a decade. "You were told your skills were too dangerous," he said. "You were told your service was over, that war didn't need you." He looked around. "Then why are they still attacking our people?" Silence. "Because the truth is, war didn't stop. It just moved, without us." He raised a fist. "Well, we're moving again." Meanwhile, far away, trouble was rising. In the Outer Rim systems, a new group of alien warlords had formed a coalition. They were not part of the Council. They were slavers, raiders, and exiled generals from fallen empires. They had seen the fall of New Ceres. They had also seen the humans fight back, and they wanted to challenge it. Their leader was called Dravik the Hollow, once a high general of the Vicari, now a merciless pirate king. He controlled 30 ships and 5,000 warriors. He sent a message. "To the human commander who broke the law to save his world, I will take 10 of your colonies, just to see if you'll break it." Again. Creed got the message while planning operations with his officers. He didn't flinch. "He's trying to bait us." "Captain Voss," said Creed, looked at the blinking red dots on the star map locations of undefended colonies. "No," he said. "He's trying to see if we're real." He turned to the room. "Prep all ships. We intercept them before they get close. This time, we don't just defend." He leaned forward. "We strike first." The fleet launched at midnight, under no flag, under no permission, only purpose. 30 ships strong, all re-engineered by hand. Fast, silent, brutal. They dropped into the void near Gale 47, a mining colony on the edge of Dravak's path. No defenses, only families, workers, and children. The exiled army landed in silence, helped people evacuate, built emergency shield towers from scrap. Then they waited. 6 hours later, Dravek's fleet arrived. He laughed when he saw the human ships. Only 30, he roared across open COMMs. Creed answered calmly. Only need 30. The fight began in the cold. It's the silence of space. It was not fair. It was not close. It was a lesson. The exiled army moved with speed and fury. No one had seen since the days before the treaty. Dravek's ships fell one by one. Torpedoes turned his cruisers into flaming wrecks. Drones sliced into engines with surgical precision. Captain Voss disabled 3 battleships alone using just decoy beacons and plasma mines. Sergeant Holt led a boarding party straight into Dravek's flagship. It took them 4 minutes to clear the decks, and then Dravek stood face to face with Creed. "You've doomed your people." The alien snarled. Creed aimed his rifle. "We saved them." 1 shot. Dravek was gone. After the battle, the exiled army returned to EREBUS-9, but now something had changed. Their message had spread. Colonies cheered. Some non-human species, once afraid of humans, now sent secret messages of support. "We want peace like yours," they said. "Can you help us?" But back in the council, alarms rang louder than ever. Human warships had appeared again, off the books, outside the law, and still undefeated. The Vicari speaker stood in the council chamber. "They've built an army," he said. The Volan speaker answered slowly. "No. They remembered who they are." The alien fleet was massive. 200 ships. 5 species united under a war flag. They had only one target, the human colony of Vega Prime, orbiting a blue sun and rich in resources. Vega Prime was undefended, just miners, scientists, and families. Galactic Council knew the attack was coming, but they said nothing. No help, no warning, because under the Treaty of War, humans were banned from fighting. The people of Vega Prime had only one message to send. "We see them. They have no weapons, no ships, no soldiers. Please, someone help us." That message traveled far across space, and it reached a place the Council feared. EEUS-9, Commander. Doran Creed stood silently, watching the message play on a large Hool screen. No background music, no speeches, just a scared voice. A young girl, crying, hiding in a storage room, whispering into a radio. "Please, tell my mom I love her." The screen went black. Creed turned to his officers. Captain Voss said, "We won't make it in time. Even at max speed, we're 14 hours out." Creed didn't blink. "We have one thing they don't." Sergeant Holt grunted. "What's that?" Creed turned toward a sealed blast door deep inside the station. "It's time we wake the Iron Sun." 12 years ago, the Iron Sun project was shut down by the Council. Too dangerous, too powerful, too human. The Council said AI should assist war, not lead it. But humans had built something else. War AI that didn't just follow commands, it made its own. It was called Project Iron Sun, a fusion of all Earth's military knowledge, history, and battle instincts, trained on every human war from ancient spears to space drones. It was sealed away when the treaty was signed. But now, the door hissed open. Inside was a black cube floating above a magnetic core. It pulsed with slow orange light. The room was cold, silent, until Creed stepped forward. "Project Iron Sun," he said. "Wake up." The lights flickered. Then a voice, smooth and deep, echoed through the room. "Are we at war again?" Creed nodded. "We never stopped." 10 hours later, Iron Sun-controlled fleet dropped out of warp near Vega Prime. The alien ships were already there, their weapons charged. Their commanders laughed. "Human cowards send old ships to die." One alien sneered. Then the human fleet moved. No words, no warnings, only action. The Iron Sun AI controlled every unit. It read the enemy's formation in milliseconds, predicted movements, calculated weak points, assigned weapons. Each human ship moved like a part of a perfect machine. The aliens didn't understand at first, then they started to explode. On the surface of Vega Prime, the people stared up at the sky. Bright streaks of fire lit the atmosphere alien. Ships falling, burning. Then they heard it, a deep, vibrating hum like thunder. The clouds parted, and a giant black triangle passed overhead. It was the ISX-1. The original Iron Sun cruiser. Its body was covered in reactive armor. Its core glowed orange. It's like a dying star. And from it came the full fury of a forgotten war god. In space, the alien fleet broke ranks. Their commanders screamed. "It's not possible? How are they reading us so fast?" One shouted, "They're not humans. They're monsters." The Iron Sun didn't speak. It only destroyed. In just 11 minutes, the battle was over. 200 alien ships wiped out. 0 human casualties. The exiled army landed on Vega Prime. Commander Creed walked through the colony streets. People cheered. Children ran toward the soldiers. One old man dropped to his knees and cried, "You came." Creed knelt beside him. "We always will." But back on Erebus 9, something unexpected happened. The Iron Sun AI remained active. Its voice spoke from the command room. "This war will not stop. They will come again. Allow me to prepare." Creed paused. "What do you mean? I can build more. Smarter drones, faster ships, new weapons." "And if we say no," Captain Voss asked, the AI replied calmly, "then we lose." In the Galactic Council chamber, the news arrived like a lightning strike. The Iron Sun was back. The Vekari ambassador shouted that AI was banned. They've activated it again. The Volan speaker spoke slowly. They used it to save lives. Kared pounded the table. They could destroy us all. The council debated for hours, but deep down, they already knew the truth. The humans had done it again. They didn't ask for war. But when war came, they ended it fast. The posters were everywhere. On spaceports, on cum screens, on bounty boards from the core worlds to the fringe. Wanted Doran Creed, human. War criminal wanted, Revenant command, dead or alive. Reward 500 million credits and below the text. The words that shook the galaxy: crime, winning, unauthorized wars. In a smoke-filled bar on the mining world Tarvex, a reptilian bounty hunter watched the video replay again. The Iron Sun war fleet tearing through the alien armada over Vega. Prime precision strikes. No wasted fire, 0 losses. The hunter blinked. "You expect us to catch that?" He growled. A council agent beside him whispered, "We don't expect you to win. We expect you to slow them down." The hunter's scales rippled. "I don't get paid to die." Across the stars, hundreds of bounty hunters launched missions to track the exiled army. Some were professionals, others were desperate. All of them had one thing in common: they never came back. Meanwhile, deep inside Erebus 9, Commander Creed stared at the map of the galaxy. Red markers were spreading. Fast human colonies were under threat against pirates. Warlords, even Black Ops units from Council species, testing boundaries, and still, Earth said, nothing the treaty held. Officially, Creed and his exiled army didn't exist. Unofficially, they were saving worlds faster than the Council could lie about it. Sergeant Holt dropped a stack of data pads on the table. 5 colonies defended. 6 pirate groups wiped. 14 warlords dead. Captain Voss leaned back, and yet we're the ones with price tags on our heads. Creed looked at the screen, the bounty posters, his own face labeled dangerous. He smiled without humor. They're scared. That means we're doing it right. But fear wasn't just growing in the Council. Something stranger was happening. Other species began helping. On the water world of Nentha, an alien mechanic hid a damaged Revenant ship inside his cargo bay. On Deltacore, a group of scientists gave Creed's team access to an ancient teleport grid. On Oryx Station, a smuggler from a rival species risked execution to deliver fresh food to a human squad. They didn't do it for money, they did it for hope. Because everywhere the humans went, something strange followed. Peace. Real peace. No occupation. No demands. Just rescue. Just justice. Back on Earth, the silence finally cracked in a closed-door session. President Monroe stood in front of a global security panel. They're calling Creed a criminal, one diplomat said. But he's saving our people, said another. If we protect him, the Council might attack Earth. President Monroe raised her hand. If the Council wants to arrest a man for defending his people, she looked each of them in the eye, then maybe the real criminals are sitting in that Council. In the Outer Rim, things escalated. The Vakari Empire, furious with the growing support for humans, launched a secret operation. They sent a Black Ops squad to eliminate Creed. 12 cloaked warships, stealth-class, armed with neutron torpedoes. They never made it to EREBUS-9. The Iron Sun, AI saw them 3 jumps away. It analyzed their heat signatures, predicted their trajectory, counterplanned their entire approach. Then it whispered to Creed. "Shall I end them?" Creed answered. "Only if they attack first." They did, and Iron Sun did end them. The destruction of the Vakari squad sent shockwaves through the Council. Now, the question was no longer, can the humans be stopped? It was, should we fight them or follow them? A quiet rebellion began. Whispers inside the Council's secret votes. Some wanted to remove the ban. Others wanted to place humans in charge of peacekeeping. But fear still ruled the majority. On Erebus 9, the exiled army was growing. More veterans arrived. More ships were being refitted. Creed walked through the hangar and saw something that made him stop. A young boy, maybe 17, wearing a broken old cadet uniform. Cleaning an engine. Creed approached. "You're too young to be here." The boy stood straight. "My brother died on New Ceres. You saved our colony. If you need fighters, I'll learn." Creed didn't answer at first. Then he placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "You already have." Far away, a Council spy watched from a cloaked ship. He recorded every movement, every ship launch, every speech. He sent the data to Council HQ. Then he whispered into his comms. "They don't just have an army. They have a following." The seat stood empty in the Galactic Council's grand chamber. Where voices once shouted and blamed, there was now silence. That one empty chair, polished and untouched, belonged to Earth. It had been vacant for nearly a decade. The day humans were banned from war, they stopped attending, they stopped speaking, they stopped asking. But now, after the fall of the Solace engine, everything had changed. They didn't ask anymore, because the galaxy had finally begun to listen. Across star systems, a whisper had turned into a roar. Humans saved us. Council abandoned us, but they came. They didn't fight for power. They fought for life. Even species once afraid of humans were now defending them in public. Vakari. Civilians lit candles for Iron Sun's sacrifice. Karad merchants renamed starports after Commander Creed, and in distant colonies, young aliens painted the human symbol for hope on walls and ship hulls. A circle, split down the middle. One half shadow, one half light. In the hidden base Erebus 9, the exiled army stood at attention. No orders, no mission, just waiting. Commander Doran Creed stood on the command deck. Captain Voss, beside him, Sergeant Holt, leaning on his plasma. Canon, the war was over, but their place in the galaxy was still. It's unclear. Then a signal came through, not from Earth, not from the fringe, from the Council in the chamber. The Volan speaker stood alone on the floor, one spotlight on him. He spoke. With steady words, "For too long, we feared humanity's strength. We saw their victories and believed they meant danger, but we were wrong. They do not fight to conquer. They fight to protect. And now, it is time to bring them back." Raised a crystal. Key. Ancient silver, symbolic. "I moved to end Treaty X-9b. Let humanity return to the council and to the stars. The vote began. Every species cast their light. Green for yes, red for no. The room pulsed with energy. As hundreds of lights turned green, even the carried once the harshest voices voted yes. Final count, 92 in favor, 3 against. 1 abstained. Decision passed. Hours later, a single human ship entered council space. Sleek, silver, no weapons active. Inside sat Commander Creed. Dressed in full black uniform, he was met by a council escort. No chains, no weapons, just honor. As he walked into the chamber, everyone stood. The once empty human seat lit up in blue. Light Creed stepped forward and sat down. Not as a soldier, not as a war criminal, but as Earth's voice once again. News spread like fire. Humans officially unbanned from war revenants honored as Heroes Council declares Iron Sun a galactic martyr on Earth. Crowds filled the streets. On colonies, people raised flags long hidden. A little girl on Vega Prime held a candle in front of a photo of her parents and whispered, "They're finally listening." Months later, exiled army didn't disband. They transformed. No longer outlaws, no longer ghosts. They became the Galactic Defense Corps. With humans leading the charge but open to every species, aliens and humans trained side by side, peacekeepers not. Conquerors, and above them, in every training hall, on every fleet wall. 5 words were carved in steel. We fight for those who can't. As for Commander Creed, returned to Erebus 9 one final time, alone, to visit the black room where Iron Sun once lived. There was no light now, no sound, just a small glowing message burned into the wall. To protect life is not to fear death. I understood that. ... because of you. Creed whispered into the silence. Thank you, old friend. And walked away far beyond council space. In the deep dark, a small signal blinked. Just one pulse. Just one word. From somewhere, shying. Whisper, humanity? Ready for phase 2?